Imagine standing at a crossroads, each path veiled by the mists of time, yet illuminated by wisdom that has echoed through ages. This is the experience of delving into Deuteronomy 11, a biblical passage that offers not just historical narratives, but profound life lessons. How can a chapter written millennia ago continue to shape the ethos of communities and individuals alike? How does it inspire, guide, and challenge us in the modern world? Deuteronomy 11 is a chapter that resonates with themes of faith, obedience, and blessings. Themes that are as pertinent today as they were when the Israelites stood on the edge of the Promised Land. In this exploration, we will uncover the layers of this ancient text, revealing its historical context, key teachings, and the vibrant applications that can transform our contemporary lives. Deuteronomy 11 is set during a pivotal moment in Israelite history. The Israelites are on the verge of entering the Promised Land, a journey that marks not only a physical crossing into new territory, but also a spiritual crossing into a deeper relationship with God. This chapter is part of a larger discourse known as the Deuteronomic Code, a set of laws and teachings given through Moses. The socio-political environment of the time was fraught with challenges. The Israelites, emerging from decades of wandering in the desert, were confronted with the task of establishing a society in a land inhabited by other cultures with their distinct religious practices. This setting underscores the repeated calls for obedience to God's laws as a means to maintain their unique identity and covenant with God. The historical backdrop of Deuteronomy 11 is essential as it shapes the theological and moral imperatives presented in the text. Understanding this context allows us to appreciate the urgency and fervor with which Moses speaks to his people. Deuteronomy 11 is rich with themes that resonate through its verses. Central to these is the emphasis on faith, obedience, and the blessings that follow. The chapter begins with a reminder of the great deeds that God performed for the Israelites, establishing a foundation of faith. Obedience is another cornerstone of this chapter. Verses such as Deuteronomy, November 13th, 17, illustrate the conditional nature of God's blessings. Obedience leads to rain for the land, crops, and prosperity. Conversely, disobedience results in dire consequences, emphasizing the covenantal relationship between God and his people. Each verse in this chapter builds on this theological framework, presenting a compelling narrative that encourages adherence to God's commands as a path to flourishing and fulfillment. In Deuteronomy 11, there is a powerful call to remember the acts of God and to obey his laws. This linkage of memory and obedience is pivotal. Remembering serves not just as a mental exercise, but as a spiritual practice that fuels obedience. Verses like Deuteronomy February 7th, 11 emphasize the importance of keeping the experiences of the past alive in the collective memory of the community. This remembrance is not passive, it actively shapes the choices and actions of the present, ensuring that the lessons learned from past experiences guide current and future behavior. The call to obedience grounded in memory is a dynamic process that fosters a deeper, more resilient faith. It binds the community together, ensuring that their shared history and faith continue to illuminate their path forward. The promise of the land in Deuteronomy 11 is depicted with both a literal and symbolic richness. Literally, the land represents a physical place of rest and prosperity, a fulfillment of God's promise to Abraham. Symbolically, it represents a spiritual inheritance and a fulfillment of a divine covenant. Verses such as Deuteronomy November 8th, 12 highlight the abundance of the land that awaits the Israelites if they obey God's commands. The description of a land flowing with milk and honey is not merely an image of prosperity, but a metaphor for the flourishing life that comes from living in alignment with divine principles. This dual portrayal of the land underscores the holistic view of blessings in Deuteronomy. It is not merely about material prosperity, but about achieving a harmonious and enriched life through obedience and faith. The discussion of blessings and curses in Deuteronomy 11 is directly linked to the theme of covenant. Verses 13-17 make it clear that obedience to God's commandments results in blessings, while disobedience leads to curses. This conditional framework reinforces the seriousness of the Israelites' covenantal relationship with God. This section not only emphasizes the rewards and risks associated with their choices, but also serves as a moral compass, guiding the community's actions and decisions. The blessings and curses are not arbitrary, they are deeply embedded in the covenantal context, underscoring the mutual commitment between God and his people. Analyzing these blessings and curses helps us understand the profound implications of our choices and the potential consequences that follow, both positive and negative. The teachings of Deuteronomy 11 are not confined to a distant past. They have potent applications today. In a world rife with moral ambiguities, these ancient directives provide clear guidance on living a life of obedience and faith. Applying these teachings can lead to personal growth by fostering qualities such as discipline, integrity, and compassion. For communities, these teachings can guide public policy and community initiatives, promoting a collective sense of responsibility and ethical standards. This part of the essay explores practical ways in which the timeless wisdom of Deuteronomy 11 can be integrated into daily life, enhancing both personal and community well-being. Deuteronomy 11 offers valuable insights into environmental stewardship. Verses 13-17, which discuss the effects of obedience on the land, underscore the interconnectedness of human actions and environmental health. This text can be seen as an early directive for sustainable practices. By viewing the land as a divine trust and acknowledging the impact of our actions, we can foster a more sustainable interaction with our environment. This section draws upon the text to discuss modern environmental issues and how the principles found in Deuteronomy 11 can inform our ecological practices, promoting a balance between human needs and environmental preservation. Education plays a crucial role in the transmission of faith, a theme that is evident in Deuteronomy 11. Verses like Deuteronomy 11:19, which instructs parents to teach God's laws to their children, highlight the importance of education in maintaining and spreading religious beliefs. This part of the essay explores how these directives can influence modern religious education, suggesting ways to engage young minds and instill deep, lasting faith. It discusses the role of both formal education and informal teaching moments in shaping the spiritual lives of the next generation. By examining the educational strategies suggested in Deuteronomy 11, this section provides insights into effective methods of faith transmission in contemporary settings. Leadership is a subtle yet significant theme in Deuteronomy 11. The chapter's emphasis on obedience and teaching suggests a model of leadership that is servile and educational rather than authoritarian. This part of the essay discusses how leaders, both in religious and secular contexts, can draw from Deuteronomy 11 to inspire and guide their communities. It examines the qualities of leaders who are effective in enforcing ethical standards and sustaining community morale. By exploring the leadership model presented in Deuteronomy 11, this section provides valuable lessons for today's leaders, encouraging a style that is grounded in humility, service, and integrity. Deuteronomy 11, with its rich tapestry of themes and teachings, offers timeless wisdom that transcends its ancient origins. This chapter not only narrates a historical moment, but also presents a blueprint for living a life marked by faith, obedience, and blessing. This concluding part reflects on the enduring nature of these teachings and their relevance to modern life. It invites readers to delve into their own journey of faith and obedience, inspired by the profound insights of Deuteronomy 11. Through this exploration, we see that the words spoken by Moses continue to echo, guiding and shaping lives in profound and enduring ways.